Hello and welcome. In this video, we are going to be performing employee analytics with Azure Data Factory. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is create a new storage account. So let's go to Azure portal and click on storage accounts. Let's create one. Now we can also create a new resource group. So let's give employee department. It should be available. Now click on OK. Now let's give a name to our storage account. Let's give employee department storage account. Okay, can only take lower case, so it is available. The next thing what we are going to do is change the redundancy type to locally redundant. It is the lowest cost option with basic protection. So that's all right for our use case right now. Now go to advanced and in here we will select enable hierarchical namespace. Click on review and create. And after a few validation checks, we will be able to create our storage account and validations are successful. Now click on create. This will submit our deployment and go to progress for creation of our storage account. In the meantime, what we can do is create a new Azure Data Factory. So open Azure portal in a new tab and let's create an Azure Data Factory. And let's select our resource group that was employee department. And let's also give the name employee department data factory. And let's select our region as Central India. Now go to review and create. This will perform a few validation checks. Now click on create. In the meantime, our data factory is deploying. A storage account is already deployed. So let's go to resource and create a few containers. So go to data storage on the left hand side and select containers. In here, we are going to create total of 5 containers. Let me go it one by one. Aggregate container. Uh, the second one is department, and the third one is EMP department, and the fourth one is employee, and the final one is raw data or raw container. And what we're going to do is store our employee.json and department.json file in the raw container. So I have opened the raw container. Let's click on upload. Let's browse. And here I have selected the employee.json and department.json files. Now go to upload and all of these files, let me show you the data in here as well. Here you can see the employee data, first name, last name, email, and all the other information. And this will be the same with this was employee data. Now go to department data. Let me show you this as well. Department ID, department manager ID, location ID, and everything. Now the first thing what we're going to do, these are all empty and our Azure Data Factory deployment is complete. So let's go to resource and let's launch our Data Factory Studio. Inside the Data Factory Studio, the first thing what we're going to do is create a new pipeline. And using this pipeline, we will get the information about our raw container so that we can perform the further steps. So go to the author tab on the left hand pane, go to pipelines, click on the new options and new pipeline. And let's also give it a name. Let's give the name as data inversion pipeline. And the first activity what we are going to create inside the new pipeline is the get metadata activity. So get metadata activity will give us the information about anything we want. So now let's go to settings and create a new data set. So we will create a data set for for the data we want to get information from. So we will be using Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Click on continue. Our file type is JSON. So let's click on continue. Now let's Let's give a name to this, and let's give raw. Okay, and let's also create a new link service. Um, let's give the name as raw data. Okay, config SQL. So let's select our subscription and the name to our storage account. Now let's test the connection. So let's click on create, and let's also select our raw container in which all the files is present, and do not select any specific file, so that will cause an issue further on because it will give information about that one specific file only. Click on OK. Now click on OK again, and let's also select a field list. So inside the field list we are going to select child items. So this child items will give us information about every file that is present inside the raw container. Now to run this pipeline, let's click on debug. This will run our pipeline and give the output in JSON format only. So let's wait for it to run. Okay, it's done. So to get the output, click on this output button. Here you can see child items, the name department.json and employee.json. These both are files. So we want this as output. Now what we want is to read the output of the get metadata activity one by one. So what we are going to do is go to activities pane and select for each and drag it onto the activity area. Now we will connect these with the success tab. Here you can see there are multiple tabs in the get metadata activity: on skip, on success, on failure, on completion. So we are going to connect it with on success, and let's select for each, and inside settings we will select sequential, and in here items we will go to add dynamic content, and in here we will select the get metadata one child items. This will give the output as child items and inside the for each activity. Now click on OK. The next thing we are going to do is inside activities we will click on this plus icon to add activity inside the for each. So inside the activities for each we need to check the file name. So what we are going to do is search for if condition, and inside the if condition what we want is to read if the employee.json file is present or not. Then we will move forward. So select the if condition, go to activities, and let's go to expression builder, add dynamic content. So inside the expression builder what we want is to read the file name, that is employee.json. So we will check at the rate contains, and in here we will give the value. So the first is what we want to read as item dot name, not zero, sorry, item dot name, and let's match the name with employee.json. So this will read that if it contains the file name, then that is employee.json. Now click on OK. So what I am trying to check with this is if the get metadata activity output contains, and we are going to read the child items using item.name, and then check if this contains employee.json file, and if it contains we will put some condition in the true activity. So before that let's debug so that we can view the output of a for each and if condition inside there. So let's wait for it, and here you can see the get metadata previous one, and the for each is running. If condition, so both will run. Let's refresh it again, and here you can see all of those are succeeded. So let me show you the output of each one. For each will not give any output, if condition will not give, and it will also not give, but it shows that our pipeline is running currently successfully because we did not give any true or false condition. That's why there is currently no output. So now what we want is if the if condition is true, what we want to do, let's select the if condition. So this will go to activity. So true. If the condition is true, what we want is employee.json should be converted to employee.csv. So what we are going to do is select this pencil icon is next to true, and this will open the if condition true activities. And in here, we were going to give copy data. So we will drag copy data. And what we want is using the employee.json file and convert it to the employee.csv file. So what we're going to do is here select Azure Data Engineering 2 and our file type for source is JSON. So continue. Let's select the same link service and let's select our file here, raw container and employee.json. Okay, okay. Now go to sync and let's select a new data set, Azure Data Lake Gen 2, and this will be CSV. Now click on continue. Let's select our same link service, and this time we will just select the employee container. So let's wait it to be loaded. So let's select the employee container and okay. You can also give the file name, but it's all right. Now make sure this first row as header is checked. Now click on OK, and our source and sync for the true condition or true activity is done. Now let's do the same for false condition. So go back to for each activity and in here false. You can either just add activity from here or you can open the pane from here as well. So let's drag the copy data. Now go to source, new dataset data lake gen 2, continue, the file type JSON, continue, select the same link service. Now this time we will select the department.json file. Now let's select the department.json. Okay, okay. Now go to sync and create another data set. Azure Data Lake Gen 2, file type CSV, continue, same link service, first row as header. This time we will select the department container, click on OK, OK, and our for each activity is also completely done. So let me just go to the pipeline. So let me give you a review of what we are doing. So first thing we are going to get the metadata of our raw data container or raw container, and we are going to get the child items from the raw container. So child items will be all the files present inside that container. Then using for each activity we are going to iterate through each of the file items, and then we have given an if condition inside that for each. So the if condition will give that the child items contain a file named employee.json. If yes, what we are going to do, let me if yes, what we are going to do is copy data. So copy data will be from the employee.json file inside the raw container and then paste it data, converting it to a CSV file inside the employee container. And if that file is not in the if condition, so it will copy the department.csv, sorry, department.json file and paste it in department container as department.csv. So let's run our pipeline. Click on the white area and click on debug, and this will run our pipeline. Let's wait for it. So get a activity successfully. Now for each condition, then if condition, like copy data. So let's wait for it. This will take only a few seconds to run, and then our employee.csv and employee.json file will be present inside the employee and department container success respectively. Now, as you can see, copy data first one is succeeded. Now, second one, let's wait, and all of these are succeeded. Now let's check. So let's go to employee container. Here you can see a file named employee.txt. Let's wait for it. And here you can see it's in CSV format, but just the name is .txt. You can convert it to CSV format easily. Now it will be the same for the department container. And here you can see it's converted from JSON. So let's go back. Now what we want to do is create a join operation using the employee.csv or employee.txt and department.txt. So for that, we will be moving on to the next video. Thank you so much.